Hey guys, welcome and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm doing a silk press on a returning client. And honestly, while I was online the other day, I saw the debate about whether a silk press was actually a protective style. When we think about protective styles, we usually think about braids and wigs, but not necessarily heat styling. So today we're breaking down whether a silk press can actually protect your hair or if it's doing more harm than good. Alright, so let's dive in. Alright, so here's my client's hair before. She's actually had one Cezanne keratin treatment done with me in the past, and lately she's been playing around with the idea of becoming more of a straight natural because she feels it will be easier for her to manage and style her hair that way. And honestly, I've been having a lot of conversation with clients in the salon about this. Truthfully, sometimes people simply prefer the ease of wearing their hair straight, but the biggest concern is always how do we avoid heat damage? So I'm going to share some tips on how to actually be a straight natural without destroying your curls. Alright, so first things first, I'm cleansing her hair with the TYMO Curly Volume Shampoo, and this is the clarifying shampoo of the line. And this step is so important, especially if you plan on heat styling your hair regularly. A lot of people are concerned with the flat ironing and the blow drying when they talk about heat damage, but product buildup can also be a huge issue. If your hair is coated in heavy oils, creams, or old product residue, you may end up needing more heat to smooth your hair out, and that's where unnecessary damage can happen. When you start with properly cleansed hair, this allows your products to work better, helps your hair feel lighter, and gives you a smoother result without having to overcompensate with excessive heat. I love the volume shampoo because not only does it deeply cleanse the hair and remove product buildup, but it also leaves the hair feeling moisturized after. It doesn't strip the hair where it's squeaky clean. Also, my client was dealing with a lot of dryness and flakiness of her scalp, so I like to go in with the volume shampoo because I know it's going to lift all those flakes off her scalp so her scalp can breathe again. So both her hair and her scalp are starting on a clean slate. Alright, so next I'm going in with a K18 treatment, and this step is all about reinforcing the hair before we move into heat styling. Like I mentioned before, my client has already had a Cezanne keratin smoothing treatment before. While both can help support healthy hair, they do two completely different things. A keratin treatment is designed to smooth the hair, reduce frizz, and cut down styling time, and this all makes the hair more manageable, especially for someone who likes wearing their hair straight often. K18, on the other hand, focuses more on strengthening the internal structure of the hair by helping repair damage from things like heat styling, color, or just general wear and tear. So while the Cezanne keratin treatment is helping make straightening process easier, the styling of it easier, K18 is going to go in and reinforce the hair to make sure it stays strong enough to handle the heat styling over time. Honestly, for general maintenance, I recommend in the salon to my clients that you should go in with a bond building treatment like K18 or Olaplex about once a month. This makes sure that your hair is strong for the month to come, and then every other wash day you really just focus on moisture, a good moisturizing deep conditioner. A routine like this will help maintain the strength and moisture balance in your hair. So a good K18 treatment once a month will do the hair good. Alright, so after applying her treatment, I'm going in with a hair steamer, and I love this step especially for people who wear their hair straight regularly. Regular heat styling can slowly leave the hair feeling dry and brittle over time, especially if you're not intentional about putting moisture back in. So using a hair steamer helps open up the hair cuticle so your deep conditioning treatments can penetrate a little better and give the hair that hydration and softness it needs. And when your hair is properly moisturized, it tends to be more flexible and less prone to breakage. It's definitely not necessary to have a hair steamer, but it's definitely extra credit points. Okay, so to prep our hair for her blowout, I'm going in with the Emergency Miracle Treatment, and this is a lightweight leave-in conditioner. This will help bring moisture back into the hair after cleansing in her treatments without weighing the hair down. When you're doing a silk press, you still want hydration, but not weighing the hair down with heavy products. This will leave buildup on the hair and leave your silk press falling flat. This is why I love the Emergency Miracle Treatment, because it's a lightweight cream that is small enough to go into the hair and not sit on top. Then I'm following up with Lite, which is my blow dry cream. This will help smooth the hair during the blow drying process, also helps reduce frizz, and creates a softer foundation before we even use a flat iron. Because the smoother your blowout is, the less heat you typically need later. And if you haven't used a blow dry cream before, I always recommend using it because it keeps your hair moisturized during the blow dry process. We all know that a blowout can leave your hair feeling so dry and crunchy, and a blow dry cream specifically will prevent this because the cream will keep your hair hydrated so it still feels soft and lightweight afterwards. And lastly, to seal in all the moisture and for added heat protection, I'm going in with the amethyst oil. This will add a ton of shine and help speed up that blow dry process with that double protection. Heat protectants are absolutely non-negotiable if you're wearing your hair straight regularly. A lot of heat damage happens because people skip proper prep and rely solely on the blow dryer or the flat iron to do all the work. And that's exactly what we don't want to do. Alright, so as I blow dry my client's hair, let's talk about what actually makes a style protective in the first place. The purpose of a protective style is to help you retain length by minimizing the things that commonly lead to breakage. Things like excessive manipulation, constant detangling, dryness, and even overstyling your hair every single day. That's why styles like braids, wigs, and sew-ins are often labeled as protective because your hair is usually left alone for an extended period of time. But honestly, I think depending on your hair and your lifestyle, a silk press may be considered a protective style. For example, I naturally have fine, thin, natural hair that breaks easily with excessive manipulation. I say you look at it and it just breaks off. And a lot of fine hair curlies know exactly what I'm talking about. And I actually made a whole video about how when I completely stopped blow drying my hair, because I blow out my hair weekly, I experienced more breakage over time when I stopped blow drying my hair because I was constantly detangling, styling, and manipulating it in its natural state. Truthfully, I noticed that when my hair was in its natural state and air dried, that I had my hands in my hair a lot more than when I was blow drying my hair because I constantly had to restyle it. And because the hair wasn't straightened out and stretched, I was more forceful with my hair when it's in its natural state than when I can just easily brush through it and put it in a bun like you can see here in this video. But seriously, wearing my hair straight actually helped me leave my hair alone, and that helped with a lot of hair retention. And for some clients I know, they've experienced something similar. When you wear your hair straight, your hands are not really in your hair all the time, styling or manipulating and just stressing your hair out. You can just wear your hair, you brush it and you go. for some people, that lower maintenance routine can actually help with length retention. Honestly, that's why a lot of people with relaxers were able to grow their hair so long, was because they weren't struggling with their curls or over manipulating their hair. That's why I tell some clients who are really struggling with managing their curls that it's okay to stretch your hair out to heat style as long as you do it correctly. Alright, so here's a quick look at my client's hair, half blown out and half in its curls, and I love seeing this because it just shows how versatile our hair is. I just want to mention that wearing your hair straight does not mean you're abandoning your curls. I think sometimes people feel pressure to choose one side. You're either fully natural or you wear your hair straight. But like I said, curls are versatile and you should be able to explore all your options. As long as you're treating your hair right and prioritizing healthy practices, you can wear your hair curly or straight. At the end of the day, it's you and your hair and wash day. So whatever works best for you, do that. Alright, so as I flat iron my client's hair, let's talk about how often can you safely heat style your hair. Personally, I think you can safely blow dry your hair weekly. If your hair is healthy and you're using proper heat protection, because blow drying tends to be more indirect heat. But when it comes to flat ironing, which is more direct heat, I typically recommend spacing that out to about every 2 weeks, especially since the style already lasts longer anyways. But no matter if you're blow drying and flat ironing your hair, your routine matters. Make sure you're doing the routine we laid out in this video. You're clarifying your hair, you're deep conditioning regularly, and you're always using heat protection. And if you really want to prevent heat damage, you never want to apply heat to your hair after wash day. Don't go back in days later and apply more heat, because at this point your hair is drier, it's dirtier. So if you apply heat to your hair at this stage, you're really just asking for trouble. And be sure to pay attention to your hair, because it usually tells you when you're overdoing it. If your curls aren't reverting properly, you're seeing an increase in dryness, split ends, breakage, your hair's feeling limp, or your hair needing higher and higher temperatures just to get it straight, those are usually signs that you need to pull back and focus on restoring your hair health before applying any more heat. Alright, and here are the final results. Look how shiny and healthy her hair looks. And you can see it's given silk, it's given weightlets, it's given body and bounce. If she wants to maintain these curls, all she has to do at night, I like to recommend using flexi rods. And that's because it really is going to keep those curls, but then it's gonna also smooth out the roots. Let's say she sweat a little bit during the day. If she flexi rods at night, by the time she wakes up the next morning, everything is going to be curled and smoothed out beautifully. So this is gonna help her maintain the style longer. Protective styling really comes down to reducing breakage and helping you retain length. And for some people, wearing their hair straight can absolutely help with that. If you want to learn more about how to become a straight natural, then you're going to want to watch this upcoming video. Until then, I'll catch you on the next one. Bye!